President Joe Biden didn't do that before he did it. He issued the proclamation declaring March 31st, Easter Sunday, the Trans Day of Visibility. Then when asked if he considered how Christians might feel a bit slighted over Jesus' resurrection having to share the stage with RuPaul, Biden said, I didn't do that. A la the I did that exclamation point stickers on gas pumps from a couple of years back. I wonder who will be the first to market with the I didn't do that stickers to affix to copies of Genderqueer in your kids' school library, on postings for drag queen story hours, on Rachel Levine's uniform, on Mayor Pete and Chasten's swing, and et cetera, et cetera. The damage control spin was that Biden meant he didn't do that because the Trans Day of Visibility was established in 2009 during Joe Obama's first term. It's just on autopilot now. Yeah, it turns out the proclamation of the state's culture war against Christians and people of faith and something other than government was in fact declared 15 years ago, and few bothered to take notice. What was the big deal after all? It was just a kitschy designation day. How do you feel now? Couldn't Biden just have moved the date, as some Christian political pacifists suggested? Well, first, with 144 days already committed to LGBTQIA2S plus, there are only so many dates on the calendar to get that day of visibility squeezed in, you know? Second, how is it that they're not getting through to you? You defer to them. Got it? This is not a reciprocal arrangement. Which part of the complete reordering of society to accommodate, then celebrate, then demand all celebrate the ravings of the mentally ill is unclear. The bathrooms, the sports, the removal of parental rights, the mutilation of children. We're dealing with people who argue simultaneously that race and gender are mere social constructs, and yet that society should award benefits, reparations, admissions, jobs, contracts, based on these invented identities. To speak truth is to hate. To embrace the scam is to love. Bernie Madoff could have learned a thing or two from the identitarian left of today. They promise a judgment-free society while presenting you with the binary choice. Make the wrong selection, and their judgment is delivered swiftly and with a sledgehammer. For 15 years, and frankly many years before that, they've been priming your kids in their schools with messages like this one from U.S. Secretary of Education, Miguel Cardona.
To the many transgender students across the country listening on this Trans Day of Visibility, we in the Biden-Harris administration want you to know that we see you, we support you, and we celebrate you. We also know it's not an easy time to be you. Walking into a classroom should be an act of hope, not an act of bravery. That every day you choose to show up as your true self, you make this world a more brave, more honest, and more free place. In your gift for seeing things as they could be, I see the promise of America.
The seeming overnight success, to most Christians, of the new Marxists in converting nearly 1 in 3 Gen Zers to identifying as part of the Lavender Bund was like overnight successes in other sectors, the result of decades of diligence in the shadows. They chased their revolution while we slept. NYU psychology professor Jonathan Haidt explained what happened from a clinical perspective during a recent interview on PBS's Firing Line program.
Girls you're connecting on social media, where it just turns out in many communities, the more anxious and depressed you are, the more you get support. The more extreme your symptoms, the more you get likes and followers. You know, of course, it's good to destigmatize social mental illness. We don't want people to be ashamed, but boy, is it a terrible idea to valorize it, to tell young people, you know what? The more you have this, the more popular you'll be, the more support you'll get. And so you get this explosion, not just of anxiety. Anxiety is in part, I think, spread sociogenically, it's called, from social causes, not from internal causes. But we get it for dissociative identity disorder, and it seems to be the case for gender dysphoria as well.
And you think that the data demonstrates that it is above and beyond just the phenomenon of coming out and increased awareness?
Mm-hmm. Yes, because it happens in clusters of girls. It happens in clusters of girls who had no previous gender dysphoria when they were young. So it's very different from the kinds of gender dysphoria cases that we've known about for decades. I mean, it is a real thing. But what happened, especially when girls got YouTube and Instagram early, but then especially TikTok, girls just, girls get sucked into these vortices.
Given the multiple generation head start, what are Christians to do now? It's a little late for consideration of the Benedict option, isn't it? Retreat is no longer an option, as they will come for the apostates. They've shown that. So what's it going to be, gentlemen, in particular? Will you raise up the truth in defiance of the depraved and the mentally ill, or defer to the politics of the day? Men identifying as women are not women. They should not be in your daughter's bathroom. They should not take her place on girls' sports teams. Will you be the protector God created you to be? Can the women in your life count on you or not? This is the time when you will show us who you are, one way or the other. I'm Dan Proft with the Counterculture Commentary. Please like this video and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. And please leave a comment in the comment section. We'd love to hear your thoughts.